Unheard of.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Unheard of. I'm your boy, Arthur. I got my co-host with me, Jerod. And Jerod, how you been, man? How's your week going so far?
Hey, it's going. It's going. We're recording this and I've been home with the boys. Uh Tips down south helping her sister who recently had twins. So yeah, it's just me and the boys this weekend and we're just having fun at the house, man.
Yeah, is it easy entertaining two small boys?
Well, I think I only have to entertain one really. The oldest, Jaden, he just kind of finds stuff to do most of the time, so it's really just entertaining the one that's almost 2.
Yeah, so it's hard.
No, it's not hard.
I got you. Anything else going on?
Well, we got some important updates. We finally got an update from the TSA this week, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. During our little break, I did get a call from the TSA and an email from the Denver airport who was handling my claim going to DC from Denver. Well, then, just today, I got a phone call from the TSA again. And I explained, but this guy was from DC. So basically, they wanted to see what happened from my laptop on the way home from this trip. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll tell you too. Whatever. No big deal. He sends me an email. It's like, hey, this is everything we discussed. This is what I wrote down, what you said. You good with this? I was like, yeah, that's fine. And I explained how they basically broke it twice. And so what they did was they split up the claim so they can pay me 2 times, one for the trip going to DC and one for the trip coming back from DC. Now, it's probably still going to take some time, but I've been in contact with them at this point. They've reached out. I've finally like gave them my side of the story, and now it's been input into their system. Hopefully the next process doesn't take another 2 to 4 months.
Yeah. So what did they say? Like did they give you a time update? Did they say anything other than just taking down your story?
Nah, there's no time update. They'll I'm still just waiting on them. Like honestly, uh some money's about to come in anyway, so I'm about to upgrade to a MacBook. But when the money comes in, it'll be pretty nice.
I feel you. That's good, man. Um, so that's pretty good of the TSA to help you out and split up the claim in 2 parts, so you get paid twice.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the hope. Because I put down my current laptop is worth about 600. So to be paid 600 twice would be pretty nice.
Yeah, I would say would they pay you full amount like both times?
I don't know. I mean, that's the plan. The TSA is gonna probably settle on some type of cost that's a bit lower. But at that point, I won't even care too much. I'll just be like, hey, whatever, it's some money.
Okay. That's good, man. Hey, listen. You're sticking by your word so far. You're letting the TSA have it.
It's true. It's true. I told you and I told everybody on this show that when I'm committed, I'm committed. I'm not giving up. So it might take another 6 months, but I'm gonna get my money.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
And what about you, man? You've had a busy week yourself.
Yeah, man. I've just been working a lot, and then of course, a friend to the show. He's been on multiple times. He had a big milestone happen. Drew Maddox got married, so we did his whole wedding thing. I was in the wedding, and so was Colton. And also shout out to Colton because Colton also had a big milestone. He actually left and went out to the Army. So
that's true.
Shout out to him. Everybody's making big moves. But yeah,
I'll,
Drew's wedding. What's up?
I said I'll probably have some pretty exciting news to share real soon too, in the next week or two.
Okay, we'll be waiting for it. But yeah, Drew's wedding was a lot of fun, you know, like I always enjoy weddings. I mean, most of my friends are married now. And so I've been in a few of them. And so yeah, it's always a good time. You know, it's always emotional. People are crying, you know, people are dancing. The wedding receptions are great. And that the venue that he picked was really nice.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. I told him that, hey, if Colton didn't want us to come and have me spend $700 to get the family down there the weekend before, hey, we probably could have made it to that 9/11 wedding. But I blame it on Colton.
You know, I keep forgetting that his wedding anniversary is now 9/11 every year.
Never
Every
forget.
year. Can't forget it now.
That's
But
what he says about it.
yeah, it was great. The food was great. Oh man. Um the night of the wedding rehearsal there they had some really nice food there. Some caterers, I think they might be from Cedartown. I'm not sure,
Hmm.
but food was great. Food was immaculate. The wedding food, it was all good at the day of the wedding. I'm gonna have to send you a picture of Drew's groom's cake because it was awesome. It was a Office, like the TV show
Yeah.
theme cake, and it was Dwight Schrute's like uh, collared shirt. So like it had a bunch of like pins and stuff on it. I took a picture of it. We'll have to send it to you so you can put it somewhere in the episode. But yeah, it was really good, man. I'm really happy. I'm really happy for Drew, and you know, to many more weddings. I guess I don't know.
I might renew my vows for the first time by the time you ever get married.
Probably. What's the time for renewing vows? Is that like 10 years?
I don't know. I guess it just depends. But like Tiff and I, we got married so young, you know, and
Yeah.
I feel like everybody that has weddings now, their ceremonies look so nice, and um, I don't know. I just think about it from like a young perspective, and I'm like, you know what, we could have had a way better wedding. I see all these like nice venues and everything else. So, um,
Yeah, but my thinking is, I don't know. I don't want a super nice wedding or anything like that. Like, I just want something simple. Have
yeah,
somebody there, have us read our vows and stuff and everything, and then it's over. Because I mean, it's only gonna be for one day. So, like, in my opinion, like, please spend all that money on yourself or for people to be like, damn, their wedding was nice. And I don't
well,
really care what people think.
my idea was I had told Tiff by the time we made it to 10 years, I was going to take her to Bora Bora because that's like one of her dream destinations, talking about where she always wants to go.
Yeah.
So I figured once we get to 10 years, probably just do like a vow renewal ceremony and then head off on like an actual nice big honeymoon type of trip.
Yeah,
Um,
that sounds like fun.
so we're getting pretty close. We just passed 7 this year. So yeah, it's getting there. And I don't even have any money saved up for Bora Bora, so I got to start.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it might be a little bit of a pricey trip. So,
Surprisingly, I've looked it up. They have travel deals. We obviously need passports. That's easy. But
yeah,
surprisingly, a trip for two on those like little water bungalows, you can get like a whole deal on Expedia for like 6 grand, which I don't think is bad at all, including flights and everything.
yeah, that's not bad.
So
I guess I don't know. I've never been on an expensive trip before, so I don't have anything to gauge it against.
well, once you start having kids, every trip's expensive. So
Yeah, just I mean, once you have kids, just living is expensive. So,
yeah, yeah, that's why you do things like move to Colorado, out of Georgia to get like more money and stuff.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I definitely want to move somewhere else other than Georgia. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want to spend. all of my years in Georgia. I've been in some different states now, and I know I just want to be somewhere else.
Yeah, it's and we like Georgia. I think
Yeah, I mean it's always gonna be home.
yeah, I think one day we might end back. It's just probably not in rural Cedartown, where there's not really much going on. Probably closer to Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah, but the traffic though, man. God,
Yeah, I'd get used to
once
it.
you get to Atlanta, the worse it gets. I don't know, man. I drive on the interstate probably 3 to 4 times a week. So
I'd drive on the
it
interstate every day, man.
I mean, yeah, but it's just congested. It's always just congested.
Just come out this way. It's open on my way to work. The interstate literally has nobody on my way to and from work going near
Yeah, because
Wyoming.
nobody who lives in Colorado or Wyoming.
A lot of people live in Colorado. Not as many people live in Wyoming.
Yeah, but the people who live in Colorado are just trying to take it easy, bro. They're on the easy streets because they're smoking weed all the time.
Yeah, I think I'm at an advantage because I work up north. I already live near the border of Colorado and Wyoming.
Yeah,
And most people are heading like towards Denver for work every day, and that's where it gets congested. But I'm going the other way to Cheyenne, so it's pretty easy. I mean, it's an hour drive, but there's nothing going on.
yeah. I do about an hour job at work to get there every day, unless I'm driving somewhere further. But yeah, it's like you don't even think about it. It's automatic. You
It's
do it so
true.
much, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And for me, the mountains kind of help. I like seeing the mountains every day, so it's a nice view.
I mean,
Um,
does it not get boring looking at just mountains every day?
no, man, because when it gets cold, it starts to have like snow over the mountains, and then in the
Yeah.
summer, the state's on fire, so you get like orange skies, and you see smoke coming from the backside of the mountains.
The
Uh,
many colors of Colorado.
yeah, exactly. So it never gets dull. We
I got you. I got you.
all of our listeners, we saw Shang-Chi together in theaters while I was down in Georgia, and I gotta say, as far as Marvel movies go and origin stories, I'd recommend it. It was actually a pretty good film.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, bit of a big old leap from Colorado to Shang-Chi, but yeah, we like to keep y'all on y'all's toes. But
Well, speaking of
yeah, it
high,
was
let me tell you about this new Marvel movie.
yeah, it was really good. It was really good. I definitely enjoyed it, all the fighting and everything. I'm glad you brought that up. I totally it skipped my brain to talk about it this week. But yeah, the fighting and everything, I thought it was a really good origin story. And I mean they're already calling him the newest Avenger. So I mean I guess they got big plans for Shang-Chi, and I'm all the way here for it, man. Yeah, it was just like that movie was just visually good. I put those visuals really next to like um Doctor Strange and everything. Just like the choreographed fighting and everything. It just everything felt natural, but also I mean they were kind of I mean there were definitely uh, unnatural elements to their fighting, of course. But yeah, it just everything felt real.
Yeah, I did really enjoy the story. Yeah, it wasn't. We actually weren't planning to talk about this at all. I just remembered, hey, we saw Shang-Chi while I was down there,
That
and we didn't even.
that's that's
So
why it came out so randomly. He was just like, Shang-Chi, we watched it. We watched it, yeah.
but it was a pretty good film. It was like a nice little entry into Marvel. I liked it way better than I did Black Widow, because Black
I'm
Widow,
still gonna watch that.
you're not gonna be
I
impressed
wonder,
with it. It's not that
I
good of a
wonder if it's
movie.
coming to the Disney Plus anytime soon or something. I
Got it.
might rent it one night.
It's supposed to soon, but I don't know. Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
I mean, listen, they're acting like they didn't know that that movie wasn't gonna make money. A and B, if the most money is gonna see is probably gonna be from people watching it at home and like renting it and stuff.
Hey man, I don't know. Shang-Chi is making money by being in theaters.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it's Shang-Chi. Like, it's something new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I still think if it was just in theaters, it probably would have made money. So,
Um, Also,
um,
since we're jumping down the superhero movie rabbit hole, um, when is the new Venom movie coming out? Is that's the 15th, right?
yeah, it's like October 12th or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that to see Woody Harrelson just go full off the rails,
I'm gl-
crazy.
I'm glad that one's rated R because Carnage, man, that's the type of villain that definitely needs that R rating. Because
Yeah.
yeah, that movie's gonna be pretty exciting.
Um, I had something. I had a question. It has just fallen out of my memory, but Shang-Chi was great.
It's definitely a different fighting style for sure, and that's not like stereotypical because I really enjoyed the fighting. It was Marvel needed something different, man, and
Oh,
that's probably got some of the best fighting scenes of any of their movies.
oh yeah, for sure. Um, the Eternals is that coming out this year?
Yeah, I think it's coming out in November.
Wow, bro. Marvel really is hitting people upside the head with some movies this year, man. Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, Eternals. Like,
Well, Spider-Man and Venom are both really Sony's that they're coming out with.
yeah, but I mean, it's still Marvel Studios. Like,
Yeah, well, Spider-Man is not Venom, but
well, yeah, not Venom. I'm just talking about Marvel wise.
yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they couldn't hold off much for longer, with these movies and COVID at this point.
Yeah,
Uh, I think Shang-Chi showed some real promise at the box office numbers. So I think they're hoping everybody's finally going to go back to the theaters because they're like, hey, we can't not make money anymore. So y'all come see these movies.
I mean, yeah. By the time Spider-Man comes out, I feel like it's gonna be full swing. I expect even like down here some packed out theaters for opening weekend.
That trailer has got people probably thinking, hey, I might want to catch COVID to go see this film. I might need to catch COVID to go see this in a packed out house.
I definitely wouldn't want to catch COVID, but I would also definitely want to see the movie. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I guess weighing my options. I maybe
And
risk it.
Marvel doesn't make many disappointments, but let me tell you guys about a certain disappointment in Atlanta by the name of the Falcons. How freaking amazing is it that they lost in such fashion to the Philadelphia Eagles like that? And
you know.
when this comes out, who's to say we won't be 0-2? I'm just saying that the way we lost to Philly, that was pretty embarrassing.
I mean, yeah, but Philadelphia's defensive line. I mean, they was giving it all they had. I mean, they got some killers on there, and I mean, our O line didn't really do much to help us. What we had like 90 something yards and penalties, so we
Yeah.
just we they they didn't look like a NFL team out there
And you know
getting
what?
absolutely destroyed.
People are going to say that this doesn't matter, but the Falcons are like one of the only teams where we sat all of our starters the entire preseason. I'm like, yeah. And you know what happened on week 1? We looked like we wasn't prepared. Maybe it's
Yeah,
because our
exactly.
starters didn't play a single snap in the preseason. Like Patty Mahomes is playing in the preseason, man. What? Why does Matt Ryan and the rookie Kyle Pitts need to sit out?
Exactly. They just look like you said. I mean, unprepared, and I mean Arthur Smith said it himself. He's just like, I didn't do a good job of preparing the team. Like, yeah, no duh. Like they haven't played a single snap against anybody together yet. Like, what do you mean?
Dude, I love that Atlanta media is not letting Matt Ryan live down the Super Bowl loss because this week we're facing Tampa Bay. And
Yeah.
obviously, we have a history with Tom Brady at this point. And the reporters really asked him about the Super Bowl loss this week in a press conference. Said, "Hey, does that Super Bowl loss still kind of like linger in your mind when you go up against Tom Brady?"
What
I
did
was
Matt
like,
say?
he's like, "Yeah, it's in the past. It happened, but you got to move forward with every day." So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
That's
Jesus,
I mean, that is kind of a messed up question, but
I love it.
I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, hell, I mean, I wouldn't just blame that Super Bowl loss all on Matt Ryan. I mean, everybody knows that.
No, it
But
falls in the hands of Shanahan and Matt Ryan.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Matt Ryan was
But
the MVP. You got to be able to call an audible instead of passing on third down when you know you can get a field goal and win it. Instead of getting strip sacked.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, they just on Sunday, because of speaking of terrible Falcons performances, they just this is one for the books. This is one for the books. This is the worst I think they did in a season opener at home, and
Yeah.
a lot of I forget how many years it was, but it's a lot.
I'm pretty sure we had the lowest score of any NFL team in week one. And
No, actually, Green Bay only got 3 points. So
so second lowest score, which
yep.
I hope week one is just an anomaly, man, because I really thought we were going to be better than the Panthers at least this year. But
Yeah, I definitely, listen, I'm still I no, I'm not standing by my 11-6 anymore.
I told you,
The
man.
way we looked, it's looking like it might be more like 6-11.
Now people are going to talk about, and they've done it. We've got friends of the show that get on Facebook and they talk about this loss isn't all Matt Ryan. I'm like, well, what can he do in the red zone instead of like getting sacked? If we would have had Justin Fields up in there, he at least could have ran around a little.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. And
Jesus, you take $150+ million, man. Like, we ain't gonna have no money for an O line.
um a lot and something that else that a lot of people are talking about was that it might have been our second trip to the red zone, or maybe it was our first one. They weren't even using Kyle Pitts like
Yeah.
in the red zone. Weren't we on the 2-yard line?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because Tennessee, they also got beat pretty bad by Arizona. And Arthur Smith was their OC last year. And that's when they looked pretty good. The Falcons bring Arthur Smith over. And we've got all these supposed weapons. And we can't even score in the red zone, apparently. Like, we can't get a single touchdown. And yeah, maybe Atlanta's just cursed, man.
I mean,
At least the
gotta be at
Falcons.
this point. I don't know. I don't see how we can, get new personnel and everything, all this new personnel, and then it's just we keep getting more of the same, more of the same, more of the same. It looks like, I mean, hell, we might as well have Dan Quinn back out there.
That's true. And, people call me a Matt Ryan hater. But if we would have had a mobile quarterback, we wouldn't have lost that bad.
No, I mean, look at what Philadelphia did. I mean, Jalen Hurts, what was it, like the first half of the game?
Yeah.
He was pretty much their whole offense, just running around, doing whatever he wanted to do. I mean, we got like one sack on him, like the whole game. It was just
woo. And are people watching other games? Like Russell Wilson hasn't had an O-line in years. He is just out there running all over the place, man, like making plays. Kyler Murray this past week, dude, there was a play when he ran around for like 15 seconds. Like his O-line just collapsed. And he just runs all over the place before he makes a play. And we're just so limited. And it's really weird that Atlanta's like this. And I'm not saying Matt Ryan doesn't deserve to be in the league, okay? But maybe Atlanta just needs a new face, right? Because maybe Matt Ryan needs to get some space too at this point. Only because, like, we need a mobile guy, man. Like the rest of the league is showing it. And when you look at every single other organization, they only change their head coach and GM so many times before they start to look at their quarterback and replace him.
Yeah.
We're like the only organization that can have like 4 head coaches, 4 GMs. We're like, you know what? Our quarterback still isn't the problem.
Oh yeah, no, he's solid. He's a solid quarterback. Uh, that was a joke, but well, I mean, he is a solid quarterback. But like you said, the times are changing, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you were talking about it last year. You've been talking about it, and I mean, I don't know. I still have some faith in Matt Ryan, but after what we saw on Sunday, it's not that my faith is gone. So I mean, he can still stand there and throw it, but we just don't have the O line
Yeah.
to protect him, so he can't look like an elite quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's too busy. Instead of the reason why he's a mobile quarterback is because he's too busy running away from defenders because I mean he has no options.
I mean, hey, and it got told to us, I won't say any names. If he wants to come on the show, he can come on the show. But, in that chat of ours, he was like, oh, well, like Tom Brady's got a good O line, and look how well he looks when he's in the pocket and has an O line. I'm like, yeah, but Tom Brady also takes less money, so they can sign players on the O line and everything. Like,
Yeah.
like Matt Ryan is literally, he's killing himself and he's killing us with the cap. If he wants
What
to actually win, he's going to need to take a little bit of less money.
what was that? What's that Olaman's name? That we drafted the one that got like 3 false starts,
I
and
don't know.
I totally forgot his name, but he's a rookie, and they were starting him, so um, it's like on the tip of my tongue, but I guess I'll think about it later. But yeah, he did not look good. He did not look like he should be starting in an NFL game. But and they said it on 92.9. They were like, how can coaches, these personnel look at this guy perform in practice and say, yeah, that's our guy. That's our guy. That's what we're going with.
Because we ain't got no money to get a better dude up in there. So that's why we draft these rookies late, and we got to put them in there because there ain't no money to sign decent free agents.
And the thing is, I mean, we're not in a rebuild. This isn't a rebuild time right now. They still think that we can win with this team.
And
so
the past 2 years, it's looking like we're heading towards a rebuild. It ain't looking too good.
Yeah, look, the moment we lost Julio, that was the start of the rebuild.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really weird where the direction of the Falcons is heading. You think we beat Tampa Bay?
No.
When this comes out on Monday, how are we gonna look? Because I also think we're gonna lose.
I mean, I hate to say it, I'm a fan of the team and everything, but like I'm definitely gonna be watching, hoping that we win. But I mean, if you're being realistic, I mean, they're the defending Super Bowl champions for a reason. And I mean, we just got dusted last week for a reason, I guess. So
yeah, by the Eagles.
I mean, yeah, but who knows? The Eagles could actually be something this season. I mean, it was Jalen Hurts' 5th start of his career. I mean, he's been there for 3-4 years. Like he looks like he is a seasoned quarterback. I mean, I guess you can give a testament to Nick Saban and everything for getting him so prepared. But yeah, he just looked really good out there.
Yeah, Philly's going to be surprising. Jalen Hurts was a good fantasy pickup for whoever got him in any league, just because he looks pretty good. And maybe the Falcons defense is just that bad, but he looked pretty good week 1.
Yeah. But speaking of fantasy, so turns out we both are entering the starting the season off 0-1.
I won my game.
Oh, you won?
Yeah.
My fault. My fault. My fault. I thought Colton beat you. My bad. My bad. My bad. Let's back it up. Let's back it up. I'm starting out 0-1. Jerod is starting out 1-0. So I mean, he's looking great.
It's true.
Kind of. I mean, in my defense, I had the second highest score in our league, but unfortunately, I was playing the team that had the highest score in the league that week. So,
God, Dole pisses me off so much, man, because he does things like draft a kicker before the last round, and he drafts like quarterbacks way too early, and then his team just like went off on you, man. Like he blew up like 200
I
plus
mean,
points. That usually doesn't happen.
I did have a starting running back that got injured, so those are points I could have had.
Yeah, yeah. Both of y'all teams really went off, and I got lucky because Colton's team was absolute garbage the first week. I mean, I only went like 118 points, and I still won the game. Uh, you had like 157 or something like that. So if you would have played me, you would have beat me down to a pulp
I mean,
most
I
of the
would have.
league.
I would literally beat everybody else to pieces.
When you look at
Like,
the
what was
league,
that? What was the scores? What was the next? What was the next closest score to mine and Dole's? Like it. I don't
uh,
know. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to
well,
listen, be no type of way.
Brendan Brame scored 150, and I'm
A
facing him this
150.
week.
Okay,
But
never mind.
thankfully Terry McLaurin for Washington went off already, so my team's getting off to a decent start this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope my team ends up all good this week. I am facing Huddle, and what he's got 8 points already, 8.9. Who played for him?
Yeah, my team's got 37 this week. We're recording on Friday night, folks, so I could still have lost by the end of Monday. Who knows? You just never know how fantasy's going to go. Antonio Gibson,
Yeah.
he's not doing me well. I've got two starting running backs that have kind of sucked, but hopefully that changes. Hopefully that changes.
Yeah.
Fantasy's so weird this year, man. I don't know who's going to go off anymore, but it was also just week one, so I imagine in the next couple weeks things are about to start settling down.
Yeah, absolutely. But my thing is, you know, how you talked about how about Doyle and how he drafts and everything. Is his draft style like? Is his team going to be sustainable all season?
Man, I don't know. I don't think so.
I was saying, is he going to be able to keep putting
Be-
up all those points like he did?
because like here's the thing. Like he's got a few members of the Bucks team, like Antonio Brown, uh Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, and there's no way they're each possibly going to be able to go off every single week like they did week one against Dallas. I just don't think like Gronk gets that many touches every single week. Because Gronk he gets hurt too. So
Yeah,
he had a good week, but I can guarantee that there's probably going to be 2 or 3 games this season he might have to sit out because of injury. And Leonard Fournette, I mean, hey, I wish the best for him, but he's barely their starting running back. And Antonio Brown, Jesus, they've still got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans on the team. So
yeah. Like what? Mike Evans only had like what 5 points
yeah,
this week. So
and you got to feed those two because Chris Godwin, they just tagged him, and so he's going to be needing some money if
oh
they want
yeah,
to keep him.
Yeah, I mean Antonio Brown, he is absolutely doing great and somehow staying quiet about it right now. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, as far as dual strategy goes, man, I don't know. Like, I still don't trust it. I think his team is eventually going to settle down just because he's got so many members on the same squad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's because he beat me, but I hope he crashes and burns.
It's such a dang shame because, like you said, you're like all in this season, and the first week you score like more points than anybody else except the person you're facing.
I can't catch a break. You know what I'm saying? I can't catch a break. It's
almost like a curse, man.
maybe I'm like Atlanta. I'm the Falcons of the fantasy league.
Maybe.
Like, well, except for the Falcons, I mean, it's not like they went off or anything like that and then just lost in like overtime or something.
Yeah,
They just absolutely suck. But I mean,
it's true.
I don't know. I feel like my team doesn't absolutely suck.
No, you'll be fine. I think it's gonna be a close playoff race in our fantasy league, but I think you could probably make it this year.
Yeah, I feel like I can make it.
I mean, dang, if my team keeps scoring only like 118 points, odds are I'm going to be out of it this year because that's not sustainable. So,
I'm sorry, but also I hope everybody who was doubting me in the league, which was everybody. So I mean, everybody can't not make the playoffs, but
hey,
I got specific people I hope don't make the playoffs this season.
well, I got for all y'all listeners, I'm managing Colton's team while he's off doing his army training right now, and I picked up a player for him to sit on the bench, but hey, his lineup's set, and I'm not touching it. That is what it is. Like
There you go.
my hope is he comes out of basic training and he's just sitting there 0-8, because he's like the reigning champ. And at this point, it's just us against him this year in the league since he's leaving, like at this time. So I say screw him. And now I'm not going to intentionally sabotage him, but the goal is for him to come out of basic training, look at his phone, and be like, "Oh my god, my team sucks."
I think he's probably gonna get his phone like periodically, right? So he might be able to do a little bit of updating to his team.
But while he's got his phone, the hope is he just like calls his wife and family and he doesn't worry about us too much. So
yeah, I hope not. I mean, listen, if he comes back and listens to this episode, I mean, it's not like we're wishing anything bad for your team. I mean, it sounds like Jerod is wishing a little bit bad for your team.
Let's just say the ball's in my court.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally in your court. His fantasy fate is in your hands.
I should just like leave one player out of the starting lineup every week and see how well he does.
like he's gonna get like 90 points a week.
Yeah, like this week, let's leave a receiver out, and the next week, let's leave a running back, and then the next week, let's just like release his kicker and see what happens.
Yeah, send him out there with no quarterback too.
Oh yeah, that one would definitely do it. So
yeah.
I don't know, man. Fantasy's good. All you listeners out there, we know you love fantasy football. We know you do. Now, here's a real story of the week. Miss Gabby Petito, who is from New York, but was recently based out of Florida, who was traveling across the country with her boyfriend / fiance, mostly out west, Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, those nice places. Well, her boyfriend or fiance, however they want to say it in the media, came back home with her van, but not with her. And it takes the family 2 weeks to report her as missing. Same time for the authorities to get that van. And the family immediately lawyers their son up, says, hey, he's not talking to no one. But we think she's still in Grand Teton Park, which is right underneath Yellowstone in Wyoming. I've been there. Beautiful place. It's got crystal blue water out there. You wouldn't believe it, that far west. But supposedly, that's where he, quote unquote, left her like 2 weeks ago. But apparently, family members heard from her. Well, they got like a text from her saying no cell service in Yosemite, which is a park in California. And that was like on August 30th. And then he was back home on September 1st. Now, there's 31 days in August. The drive from Yosemite, California to Florida would be a hefty drive to make in 2 days. I mean, unless you're just like driving nonstop.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's missing. Well, I mean, obviously she's missing, but he knows where she is, and I don't think it's going to be good news for the family.
Yeah. I mean, it's 2021. How old did you say she was? Or did you say
22.
22? When have you ever heard of a 22-year-old with a cell phone not, posting on social media or not doing anything like that? Like if she had her phone and saw that people were breaking this story, something definitely would have came out that she's been like, no, I'm fine. Like she would have posted on like Twitter or something like, no, I'm safe. Like no, like people had like literally have not heard from her for days. I mean, if you said that the last time our family talked to her was August 30th, I mean that's weeks, and they didn't have any contact with her. So it's not looking good.
Well, people think that when she sent that text about being in Yosemite on the 30th, that it was probably just him using her phone. And
Yeah, probably so.
because they were supposedly in Grand Teton a few days before that text was sent to the family. And that's where he's got them out searching for her. And I'm like, and why would he immediately lawyer up as soon as he comes home? Like that doesn't make any sense, you know? Like you're obviously guilty.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, hopefully not obviously because I mean, I wouldn't want her to just end up dead, but
Well, the odds of
it's not.
a 22-year-old surviving in places like Grand Teton for 2 weeks, it's not likely. I mean, there's a lot of roads in those parks, um, which is why I think if he did leave her stranded, she probably could have ran to a road or something, and waited for somebody to come along. Um, so I do not think the outcome is going to be very good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, there even if she had her phone, there's no way that she could be on the internet and not see that this is happening, not get a million calls from her family and stuff like that, and just not answer. I mean, unless something random happened and she totally lost her cell phone or something like that. But I still feel like she probably could have found a way to get into contact with somebody, So it,
Yeah,
like I said, it just doesn't. This doesn't. It doesn't look good.
I read an article from like an attorney or a former police officer or something like that, and they said, "Look, here's the real odds. The odds of her being able to survive for that long with no contact or even in a national park in Wyoming where there are certain wildlife members like bears, that come out in the middle of the night. Um, they said the odds of her surviving for 2 weeks with no food and being out in the wilderness is pretty dead slim. And they said what they believe is that he probably drove home with the body, and the body's probably close to the house in Florida.
I mean, that could also be a possibility, but I mean, I don't know. Not saying I'm a murderer or anything like that, but I definitely would not bring the body back with me on a road trip in August.
Yeah, and that's why that text doesn't make sense. Like no service in Yosemite, and then he shows up in Florida like 2 days later. I almost think they should be looking in Yosemite for her. If he sent that text, like no service in Yosemite, maybe that's where he dropped her off. And then he just sent that text so he would have an out, like when they find the body. Oh, she tried to get in contact with us, but said no service, and maybe she got lost, and so he couldn't find her, went back home, yada, yada, yada. But they've got police incident reports. There's a body cam footage video where they got into like an altercation or something like that. Um, so they were clearly frustrated. I mean, hey, living that close to somebody for like a whole year, like living in a van, I imagine tensions get pretty high.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, but what kind of person loses their girlfriend and then comes back home without calling the police in that area where he lost her at? somebody who has something to hide, you know?
That's why I say I'm pretty sure he knows exactly where she is because he definitely, yeah, like you said, she probably would have found a way to make contact. I don't think the outcome's going to be good because he knows where she is, which is why he lawyered up immediately if he had nothing to
Yeah.
hide.
I mean, listen, if I'm down bad, I've somehow gotten stranded somewhere, lost my phone. Like I got numbers, that I've saved in my head like it's storage, but that I have memorized. Uh that I mean I could easily call somebody. Like I can like get somebody's phone, be like, yo, connect your phone, call family, all this stuff. Like I get in touch with somebody. I
Yeah.
would find a way, so and I mean young people are pretty resourceful. So just the fact that I mean this story's been everywhere and she's so young and everything, like it's just like I said, young people don't just go missing unless they were killed or kidnapped.
Yeah, and if she had her phone, she probably would have walked somewhere enough to get like a bar service and call 911, you know. So,
I mean, yeah, hell, you can get to a damn McDonald's and they got Wi-Fi. So
yeah, well there's not a lot of McDonald's in that part of Wyoming. I'll tell you
well,
that.
yeah, I mean, I know there's not gonna be a McDonald's just sitting in the middle of a inside of a park, of a huge wildlife park. But
That's why I say she would need to find somebody. Like, I don't know about a lot of people, if you've ever been out west, but we have been to like Yellowstone and Grand Teton out there. And we literally, like while we was in Yellowstone, especially, no service whatsoever until we got back to the hotel where there was like Wi-Fi, because there was no service in that national park like at all.
I don't know, man. I couldn't do it.
Um, so yeah, that part of Wyoming is pretty dead. There's no cell service, so I understand, but yeah, I mean, why would you come home and just not speak to anybody for like a couple weeks, not tell the family anything? Oh yeah, I'm home, but she's not here, and I'm gonna get a lawyer.
Maybe she just wanted to become a lady of the woods, dude, and
And
decide to live off the land.
the odd part about this story is now the fiance is supposedly now missing. Supposedly, as of Friday night, his whereabouts are unknown, quote unquote, to the lawyer.
That man knows that there's no way out, bro. He's done. He had to get away.
Yeah, I I don't know,
Also,
man.
how long had they been together? Was that part of that article?
I don't think so. I think they were together for at least a year or more.
Yeah, that's some sinister stuff, bro. That's just if I'm with somebody for over a year, I definitely wouldn't want to see any harm come from them. So or come to them, excuse me.
As soon
But
as I mean, as soon as this story hit the news that he came home without her, oh, I was like, this is gonna blow up, and it took no time whatsoever to
oh
blow
yeah,
up.
no.
Like the FBI is
No.
involved. There's a bunch of states resources that are trying to find this woman. So
It's
yeah,
a shame.
yep. I don't know what's going on, man. That's gonna be a weird story when everything comes out. Like hopefully they find her, and I hope this guy just didn't go off himself. They said they haven't seen him since Tuesday. I hope he just didn't go off himself because we want some answers, man.
I mean, yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I just want uh I just want to see a good as possible ending to this story, like
yeah,
I know the chances of anything good coming from it are slim to none, but I don't know. Maybe they never find her. Maybe they never find her or her body, and maybe she just pops up in the middle of like Times Square, somewhere in like 50 years as an old hermit lady.
I mean they
I'm like,
did have
oh,
a, YouTube channel, so maybe the idea was for him to return home, start this huge thing to get a bunch of like publicity, and then bam, they're both back.
Yo, wouldn't that be garbage? Could they get arrested for something like that? Like,
Oh yeah, misuse of like federal and local resources by getting different states and federal agencies involved in a search for nothing, because that's like millions
yeah,
of dollars wasted on things like helicopter searches and all that stuff.
yeah. That I mean, also that would be. I mean, definitely get them some name recognition, but
Well, I don't think that's actually going to be the end of this story. I think it's going to be something much more depressing, but
yeah,
just based on the fact that she hasn't been seen for like 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. I hope for the best. I hope for the best in this. I hope they find her. I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah, I just that's one of those stories, man. Like as soon as stuff is figured out within the next like few months, you already know next year there's going to be a Netflix documentary about this because that's just how this thing goes.
Yeah, probably or like some kind of like lifetime special or something.
Yeah. Um so I did not intend for that story to be the last topic, even though we said it was gonna be.
I mean, yeah, we just kind of we kind of talked about it and said it was gonna be. So, I mean, yeah. I
I
mean, what? How
mean,
do you want to end it? You want to end it on a better note? Like, you want to end it on something happy?
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna bring y'all some positivity. So let me give y'all some good news. There was this week, there was a Doberman dog that nursed tiny abandoned kittens alongside her pups. And she is now raising those kittens as her own Dobermans.
That's cute. That's cute. There's gonna be some cute kittens just to see their mannerisms. Because I mean, if they're really tiny, tiny enough to need to nurse, then they'll probably learn a lot of dog habits.
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
I like seeing stuff like that, like cats that have been raised around a bunch of dogs, or like dogs that's been raised around a bunch of cats, dogs that try
yeah.
to like jump up on everything, jump on like counters and stuff like that. Like it's funny. I like to see the TikToks like that. Like
Yeah.
you tell if my dog's been raised around cats, and then like it's a like a big ass dog just like on top of a refrigerator or something like that. Like it's like those are that's cute. That's cute stuff.
And then another good little story for y'all to go out on. There was a woman in Pennsylvania. She was at a diner and she paid for the entire diner's meals, which was 60 complete strangers to her on this little stop. So shout out to you, lady, for paying for all those people.
Yeah, I mean, you got that much money, maybe you can write that as a tax write-off.
That'd be my plan.
But so maybe she was just really just serving herself that whole time.
Yeah, have you ever done it used to be this big thing when I would hear somebody they used to talk about on the radio where somebody would pay for your meal in front of you, like at the drive-through or something. And
Yeah.
the idea was like, oh, well, would you pay for the person behind you? And I always thought that, you know what? I think I would, but it also depends on the price because some people might order a lot of stuff and my meal might already be $20. And then they're like, hey, I want to pay for the person behind me. And then what if the cashier says, oh, well, it's like a $35 meal? What? But
All of a sudden, you're paying $50 for some damn McDonald's, and you're like, why did I do this?
so, but it actually did happen to me a few weeks ago in Wyoming when I was working. Somebody paid for my meal at a McDonald's when I was going to lunch, but my meal when it's just me and not like the other three people in my family was only like $5 or $6. So I was like, you know what? This person in front of me, that's a stand up. That's a stand up dude. So I'm gonna pay for the person behind me now that they done started this chain. And like I said, my meal was only like $5 or $6. And then I'm pretty sure that they said, yeah, the person behind me was like 17 or $20. And I was like, I guess I'll be a good Samaritan today. The person in front of me did it. So
I'm not gonna lie to you. I definitely thought you were gonna be like, yeah, nah. So I told him, nah, I wasn't gonna pay for it.
And then I've actually done it on my own a time or two before when I noticed there was like an elderly couple behind me one time at McDonald's after that instance in Wyoming when I was back home, and so I paid for their meal after we got something one day. So yeah, I mean that's not like to say, hey, I'm a good person. I just know that sometimes stuff like that happens, and then you feel pretty good about yourself. You're like, you know what? Let me help brighten somebody else's day while I'm at it.
Yeah, man. I think I've done it once because somebody did it for me. But I don't know. I mean, I like to think that maybe one day I'll just be like, yo, out of the blue, and pass on a blessing or two. But
Yeah, you know how like people can go into a bar and be like, hey, next round's on me.
yeah,
Well,
there's a
I,
cat. There's a cat. God, get out of here.
I just want to walk into like a McDonald's or Taco Bell, be like, hey, everybody's meal is on the house today. Ring them up.
Please stop. You were so good the whole episode. And now you just want to be over here. Chill out. Yeah, Odessa recently got two new kittens.
Dang.
And
Y'all about to have
they
like a cafe. What's it called? Like a cat cafe?
yeah, cat cafe around here, man. Like, especially then, like if we move in together, it'll be it'll be four cats. Well, I mean, I say if, when. It's more like when we move in together. I have four cats.
We've got
My,
3 at the house now.
my cat and her three cats. That would be, whew, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
So we recently, and yes, everybody, we are at the tail end of this episode now, but this is just a nice little add-on conversation for you. We've got the 3 cats now, and man, we had to add an extra litter box because there's just there's so much crap. 3 cats, and I'd have to clean it every single day. So
Yeah.
we got the extra one so we could still just clean it every other day. But even then, they just they mess it up so quickly when there's that many of them that we shelled out the money for that like $500 robot self-cleaning thing.
What are you doing? Is it good? Do they still use a litter box?
Well, we haven't gotten the self-cleaning litter box yet, so they're still using the 2 until that one comes in, and then then we'll figure it out. But I'm sure they will.
Yeah. I mean, I've just heard stories that like sometimes cats won't get inside of one of the self cleaning ones.
Yeah.
So
Well, the goal is for them to get inside of it because that's a heck of a lot of money to spend on a
I
litter
mean,
box.
yeah, that's like literally what you bought it for. So hopefully, yeah, they use it. So
Yeah, it's insane how much I've spent on animals. We put so much money into our animals sometimes. Even tomorrow, and this isn't like a luxurious purchase. This is actually a necessity. Our middle cat has to go get a vaccine, so got to go take her to get like a rabies vaccine at a drive-up clinic or something like that.
okay.
So, yep, yeah, that's a little bit of cat talk for y'all. Hey, if
Hey,
we ever make it back to Georgia, we can merge y'all's 4 cats, our 3 cats, and then we literally make an actual cat cafe, like coffee, cats. That's the business.
I mean, hey, and who's to say whenever that green stuff becomes legal, uh, then you could turn it into a whole very nice cat cafe.
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah, y'all will be seeing that in about 3 years or so.
Yeah, give us a few years. We're gonna have an unheard of cat cafe.
That's the
It's gonna
plan.
be it's gonna be unheard of theme. It's gonna just have a bunch of pictures of
Well,
us. everywhere on the walls.
We'll have like a studio where you can look in the window and see us recording, but the rest of it's like a cat cafe around that.
It's like it could be like a live recording in front of a live studio audience filled up with humans and cats.
That's the ideal audience, really, at this point.
Cats, I mean, love to see it.
So
name a better duo. You can't.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, as far as closing us out, sorry for missing last week, everybody. But hey, people recovering from wedding festivities and traveling, so just didn't happen. However, we're back. Got 2 special guests for you next week.
That's true.
ABG has confirmed them, and so we are looking forward to having a ball with those 2 when they hop back on.
Are we saying who they are, or is it going to be? You said it's a surprise.
Shoot, let's just leave it a surprise.
Okay, leave it a surprise. Good people, yeah.
So
that's how y'all get.
So y'all are really going to enjoy the 2 people we got scheduled for next week. Shout out to ABG for getting them on. And yeah, thoughts for the week. You know, I'm just sending positivity out to everyone. Hope everybody has a nice week. Be the best person you can be. And just live happily, man. Everybody can find me on Twitter at Jerod Evans. And I'll give it to ABG.
You know, I mean, Jerod, I always feel like your thoughts of the week that I don't know. I mean, they just seem heartfelt and kind of a little tad bit sentimental. And I'm always over here just like, I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Wear a mask. Wear a mask.
All right.
1.5 years into the pandemic, or 2
Listen,
almost.
They already know to wear masks. I really don't say anymore. I mean, you should be wearing masks. But I don't know. Closing thoughts. Yeah, man. Definitely don't go on a national park trip with somebody who you maybe don't trust all the way. But then they're also living in a van, so maybe just don't live in a van with somebody for a year, man. I don't know. Unless they're maybe your spouse or something. But also, I don't know. We're just talking about cats. I love cats. So you can find me on Twitter for more of this great content. At young without the O _ABG. You can find us on Twitter at unheard_of_pod. That's going to be the same on Instagram, unheard_of_pod. Facebook, we got a page, unheard of, you know, we there. YouTube, we recording these, you know, so go watch us on YouTube. And yeah.
True. So hope you enjoyed this nice long conversation from your 2 favorite boys this week. And
also, I'm sorry. Also, I want to give a shout out to you guys, to the listeners, you know. As I always say, I mean, if you made it this far, if you made it to the closing, I mean, thank you for just listening to us ramble for an hour, 45 minutes or something. So, thanks.
Yep.
Back to you, Jerod.
No, it's all good. And yeah, folks, you know, as always, we love you, we hear you, and we hope you hear us. Hear it unheard of.
And as always, I'm Arthur.
And I'm Jerod. And you just listened to
Unheard of.